All right, so let's continue our study. We were on page number 3. I don't think there's anybody new, but just in case there is anybody new, we will sort of, remind ourselves of a few things. Um, what are these Golden Lotus Sutras? These are words of Master Choa, but in different lectures and so on. So what he was saying was recorded, then transcribed, and then put into different books. How many books are these? 7 books on different topics. And each book itself contains many subtopics and sub-subtopics. The value is that this is supplementary information. So if you are able to understand this and bring it into your life, my guarantee is your life will improve drastically, not marginally, but drastically. And this particular book is on character development. You are aware that Master Choa gave very high priority, very high importance to character development. Okay. So I hope you have the book with you. If you don't, well, before the next session, it will be nice if you get the book. Okay, so we had gone up to Sutra number 3. Let's resume from Sutra number 4. If you master character building, it shows that your soul is evolving. Let me spotlight. Okay. If you master character building, it shows that your soul is evolving. Now, the underlying thing here is that, you see, this is something you have to understand. Character development and spiritual progress, they are very, very closely interconnected. And this is one of the unique things about Master Choa's teachings. He has given great importance to character development because he believes that it is necessary for spiritual development. Yeah. Actually, if you remember in the basic pranic healing book, Ancient Science and Art or Miracles Through Pranic Healing, whichever version you have, there itself, when he talks about meditation, he says you better start doing character development or inner purification also. If you think of his last 3 instructions, anybody remember the last 3 instructions? Practice diligently, purify yourself, spread the teachings. So in those also, he is given, the number 2 is purify. So we can see that Master has given really high priority to this. Okay. Shall we go on to the next page? In general, principles should not be compromised. So what are principles? Principles are like, for example, you remember again, basic pranic healing, aapne sikha tha. One of the first topics in basic pranic healing, the 2 principles of pranic healing. You remember? I hope you remember those principles also. Number 1, body can heal itself. Number 2, you increase prana, body heals itself faster. Now, why do we call them principles? Because these are not specific thoughts or specific facts or pieces of information. They have a wide, or maybe we can say universal application. Only then we call them principles. Siddhant, laws, or, that is how they have to be seen. And there are these many universal principles, like, for example, Satyamev Jayate, truth shall be victorious. Then the law of karma, that's again a principle. The golden rule. So whether we call it a rule, a law, or whatever, but these are all principles. All our virtues are based on principles, universal principles. And here, just to remind you of pranic healing, there is the Agya Chakra and there is the throat chakra. Your mental faculty is controlled by these 2 chakras. The Agnya Chakra is more connected with the ability to understand, internalize principles. So, because you see, it's easy to read these principles. It's easy to hear them. You go to a satsang or to a pravachan and some Guruji is sitting there, he says, you should always speak the truth. But it is not easy. It's not, it's hard. Why? Because of our weaknesses. In Hindi we say, Kam, Krodh, Maya, Moh. So gain, loss, lust, anger, hatred, etc., etc. These are things that cause us to slip up. We will be going a little fast. I hope you remember that. Okay, Sutra number 2. When there is no morality, there will be pervasive chaos and disorder. Chaos means, again, disorder or confusion, and where there is lack of order. And pervasive refers to, it is all around, it is spread all over, it pervades everything, present everywhere. So again, when we talk about morality, morality means the ability to see what is right, what is wrong, and to say, okay, this is right, I must do this. Now that again comes from the Agnya. All right. And, to give you an example, otherwise what happens is chaos occurs when the solar is in command. Let me give you a, example. Maybe you will find it funny, but it's very correct, or I would say very accurate. Think about traffic in an average Indian city. I don't know which city you are from, but most Indian cities I've been to, it applies. Think about traffic in an average Indian city versus traffic in a average Western, highly developed Western country, Western Europe, America, and so on. Now, there you can see people are driving with their agnya. This is a rule, I have to obey the rule. Stop sign, I have to stop. Red light, I will not go. In India, unfortunately, our solar seems to guide us. So we think, koi police wala nahi hai, there is no cop around. Let me see if I can jump the line. Correct? I mean, if you've been on the traffic, if you drive, you know what I'm talking about. Problems arise from lack of principle, lack of character, lack of integrity, and lack of moderation. Purge yourself of weaknesses or negative qualities. So I hope the words are all clear. I think this is somewhat straightforward. The question may come, how to purge? So for that, Master has given us the methods of character development. Always we have to keep in mind, follow the simple instructions of the teacher. Yes? And, when we talk about problems, again, if we follow the principles, the correct principles, if we are moral, if we practice morality, our life will also improve because problems will be fewer. Problems will be more when we deviate from morality. I hope I'm communicating, it's making sense. All right. Weaknesses have layers like an onion. They must be disintegrated again and again until they are replaced with right thoughts, right words, and right actions. Oh, beautiful. So this example of onion, I think, is perfect because, we have many, many weaknesses and each weakness has many, many levels or layers. You take one off and then the second and then the third. So repeated, regular, unending effort is required. My colleague Charu, our teammate, she had taken a session recently where she explained how, as per the Gita, a single thought can cause your downfall. And what are the steps that go into the downfall? It's there on our website. You can access it. It's a short talk, but very illuminative. So it shows us that this practice has to be repeated, regular, unending. Because it's not like, you say, okay, I used to get angry at my spouse and now I have stopped getting angry at my spouse. So now my loving kindness is done. Aisa nahi hai, it's not so easy. There are many, many levels to that. Purge. Purge means to get rid of. Bahar nikalna, to externalize, to throw out. So when we go to the bathroom, we purge, the body purges. Okay, the reason some people are in big trouble is because they have big character flaws. Flaws again means weaknesses. So you know the law of karma. The bigger your character flaw, the bigger your misdeeds are likely to be. Correct? And the law of karma tells us as we sow, so we will reap. From the seed, you will get the fruit. Now, looking at the fruit, you can say what the seed must have been. So somebody is in big trouble, or if I am in big trouble, I don't have to point fingers at anybody. I know that I must have had character flaws, or that it is this character flaw that has caused this problem. So again, what are we learning? Apart from spiritual growth, even for a good, happy life, character development becomes very important. Yeah. And that's why Master has given us so many techniques. Okay, let's go to the next sutra. Faults occur because of pride, stealing, unregulated, chaotic emotions, and insistence in supporting ridiculous statements and stands. Stands means positions, Somebody takes a position. No, this is like this only. I mean, for example, most ridiculous will be somebody says, the earth, the sun is going around the earth and not the other way around. There is now so much evidence, and we learn from school that it's the other way around. But somebody may take the stand. You'll be surprised in the US, many people still believe that the earth is flat. I mean, so what happens then is that this sort of ridiculous stands, and for example, we've gone through the election times, the Lok Sabha elections in India. How much of fake news and fake narratives were being spread? Now, if you start supporting one of them, and it is fake news, then what is happening? You will end up making a mistake, because to cover one false statement, you have to make many false statements. And I hope the rest of the reasons, pride, stealing, all these are quite obvious. Next sutra. Let's read the next two sutras together. Vices are also energy. They can be disintegrated. Vices or negative qualities, they are also energy. You extract this energy, you disintegrate them, and it makes life a lot easier. As simple as that. So, the beauty of our Guruji of Master Choa is that he gives he reduces life to such stunningly simple and powerful things. I mean, it's simple, right? Now that you've read it, until this, maybe we always used to think, oh, I am like this. I have this weakness. What can I do? I am like that only. Or we may say that for other people. Oh, he's like that. He's always been like that. Some, in Hindi, people like to say, "Arey, kutte ki poonch seedhi thodi ho sakti hai." Things like that. So you cannot straighten a dog's tail. What are they trying to say? This, character flaws cannot be corrected. Now, by saying that these are also energy, and we know as pranic healers how to change the energy, it just becomes a thing to do. You can change, other people can change, anybody can change. It's just energy. Change the energy, you will change. You see, this is where Guru, and I am proof that this applies. You talk to my family members. Some of my family members used to be scared of me. Is Rakhi here? Yeah, Rakhi is there. So Rakhi
Yes, sir.
can support me when I say that, before I got into pranic healing, my colleagues, my, fellow workers, they used to be scared of me.
Yes, sir.
But hopefully now it doesn't apply. Rakhi, you want to say something?
No,
Anyway, I hope you are not going to contradict me, or you can, if you agree with me, just do a thumbs up. But yes, this you can change, and that is the whole premise of character development. This whole thing is based on these two simple sutras. Weaknesses are also energy. Change the energy, those weaknesses will change. Okay, I see the time is already 6:15, but let's do one more. So now we are on page 5, the second sutra. Development of the mental faculty must be accompanied by the development of the heart. So, somewhere, Master gives the example of the wings of a bird. Intelligence, or so, the mental faculty and the loving aspect, they must develop hand in hand. If you become too intelligent, your mind is super sharp, but love is less, what will happen? You tend to become cruel, you tend to become very judgmental, very critical. If you are extremely loving but not so mentally developed, well, you are a nice person but not much use to anybody. Correct? You see, you have to understand the big role of mental development in life is that God has given us the mind to improve our life, to fulfill the purpose of our life. You see, animals, for example, the human is not the biggest animal. Is not our bodies are not the biggest, not the fastest, not the strongest. Many other animals, each of them is bigger, faster, this, that, and so on. What do we have that makes us powerful? It is the mind. So the mental faculty must be developed, but it must be balanced with the development of the heart, the love aspect, the aspect of compassion, mercy, generosity. Right? So, for example, another thing, let me remind you, Master says, when you do the soul meditation, you will become willful. You will become, because the soul energy is pouring down. But he says, balance it with the practice of meditation on twin hearts. Don't overdo the soul meditation. You must balance it with the practice of the meditation on twin hearts, which is to do with your love aspect. All right. So maybe we can stop here today. The time is already up. Shall we quickly say thanks? Lord, thank you. Master Choa, thank you. All the great ones, holy gurus, holy master saints, thank you. Now we can discuss questions if there are any, or anything you would like to share.